Welcome back to episode 70 of the Legends and Dragons podcast here at the Legends Lair in Hurst, Texas. Phil,
Jimmy Klaus.
Phil, who do we have, buddy?
We have our brother Amyn, right?
Yes, Amyn Gilani.
Sorry, I say it different ways, and I've known this guy for a few years. This is one of our students. Phenomenal guy, great brother to have. A 6 a.m.er here with us on the red mats. And so we have him here today. So introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. My name's Amyn. I'm a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu. It's been a great journey working with you guys and learning along the way. But the reason I'm here is I want to talk about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity Awareness Month is October, and usually only corporations talk about this kind of stuff. But cybersecurity definitely has a personal nexus to it. And, talking about scams and stuff like that. So I want to spend some time today to inform your listeners about, what to look out for, how to protect your finances when it comes to scams and stuff like that. And also touch some jiu-jitsu along the way as maybe some...
I think the cybersecurity stuff because I'm dumb.
I'm excited. It's like The Beekeeper.
Yes.
Jason.
Have you seen that movie?
I have.
He has a new one out too, and it's even better.
It's the Working Man?
Yeah. Oh.
Have you seen The Beekeeper?
No.
Oh, man.
So The Beekeeper, when you told me we were going to talk cybersecurity, so The Beekeeper.
Yeah, it's a good movie, bro.
So this lady, this neighbor, whoever he's renting this garage or home for, whatever, she gets all her money taken out one of these scams. And I guess she had I don't remember, $1 million or however much money.
Yeah.
Drained to zero. And then she just...
Dude, it happens a lot right now. It's really sad.
You took it down, man. He just gets burned.
Yeah, like John Wick, but cybersecurity was awesome. Oh, you gotta watch it.
All right.
I'm gonna watch it again tonight, dude.
Okay, that's that good.
I'm a Jason Statham. I'm a martial arts nerd. So if anybody, Jason Statham been tearing up for 2 decades.
Yeah.
Transporter, bro. You remember?
Sir. Yep.
Ding dong. Boom.
Does he do jiu-jitsu?
What? No.
What is he?
He might have dabbled in a little. I don't know what his background is, but man, the Transporters were good movies. Remember, he was beating his ass with bike pedals on. You remember?
I can't say
that well.
Yeah, it's actually fun watching John Wick as well and having him bust out some jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
He random arm bars.
He's a triple belt, right?
Yeah, under the Machado.
Wow.
Yeah, under Higan Machado.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, man, cybersecurity, I am familiar with it because every year I have to do computer-based instruction for...
Oh, and how do you feel about that? Do you find it valuable?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of BS.
I'll tell you what I do find valuable is when they try to send me those emails.
Like phishing emails?
Like phishing emails?
Yeah.
Dude, so in my 20 plus years, I got caught once.
Yeah.
I clicked that link, man. And they were like, gotcha, you got to go do this CBI again. And I was like, it looked legit.
Yeah.
It looked legit.
Yeah. And there's more ways to hack people with beyond just phishing, right? It could be there's so many gateways or vectors to get to yourself, right? It could be through text messages, it could be through phone calls, it could be through fake applications that you accidentally download on the app store. So there's a lot of ways to get into your life. And I want to talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
So
we're opening it up now.
So first of all, training, I don't think training, typical training, for corporations and enterprises is not really helpful. I don't know if you've seen one recently, but it's watch this video about I don't know, a phishing email, right? Or these are typos to look out for. But these days, it's so easy to fool people with the advancements that have been made within AI. It's so easy to manipulate or copy your voice. Someone could take this public recording of you and then create their own script of what they want to say, and they could call your wife and ask for $1 million, saying that you're held hostage. Actually, and if I told you last year it was still true, but now it's much faster. We could bust up in my computer today and then show you how quickly I could take a sample of your voice. And the more I have of it, the more I can catch your demeanors and your pauses. And even it's not like a robotic voice. And so
this is the last.
These are happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode of the podcast. I will not be hosting the show anymore. What the hell,
Yeah,
man?
dude, seriously. Yeah. And that's like that's pedestrian now. That's very
Okay, hold on. Time out, because I'm dumb. So let's pretend all our listeners are as dumb as I am. First of all, what's phishing? Is that where they like
Okay, yeah.
send an email and say,
Yeah.
hey, you've won $1 million, click this link?
Yeah.
See, I'm not dumb enough to fall for that.
Yeah. Let's start with that. So
Or the Arabian Prince who
there-
wants to.
Nigerian Prince.
Yeah, there we go.
All of them, yes. So there's different ways of getting to you. Like I mentioned, like your threat vectors. Like what are those different ways of people contacting you? And it could be many different ways. So we have phishing, which is like voice phishing. So like someone calling in saying like, "Hey, I'm Bank of America. We got a scam. Like your account's been compromised. Just like verify something from you, right?
Sure.
But that could be a fake person.
Gotcha.
So voice phishing is phishing, which is kind of like a newer term. Phishing with a PH has been mostly for is synonymous for lures through email. So if someone says like, hey, click on this link to download it, or here's an invoice and download like a file that could take over your machine in some way. They're trying to get you to do something, whether you're responding with like a security code or clicking something. Usually it is clicking something, whether it be a link or an attachment. So that's like email phishing. Then there's quishing. This is like a newer term. I hate saying it out loud, but quishing is QR code phishing. So you know how like people are like, hey, like download our menu at a restaurant. That could be a malicious thing, and all of a sudden you just went to a link that you shouldn't have gotten to. And usually these compromises that, let's say if you did click on something, it's not gonna be like you have malware. Right. It's not gonna say that. It's gonna be usually spyware. Usually it's gonna they're gonna try to claw into something that is important to you. Usually it's gonna do with your identity so they can get money, right? And so at the end goal for most of these scams, like 99% of the scams will be like money related. It's cybercrime. It's fraudsters just trying to get just get accesses to your things that matter. There's different ways into that. There's also like other ways, like I mentioned, like the threat vector, like how can people contact you, right? They can contact you through video games. Like we're seeing a lot of people, a lot of children being targeted for sextortion, which I'll explain that in a second. But basically being manipulated so that they can get money out from those children. And so there's a huge
gaming, console gaming.
Yeah, you can
PS5.
find it's notorious on Roblox and Fortnite. And this is actually a really important thing for I want to have your listeners, because you probably have a pretty big youth fan base, or pretty much gamers in general. But for that, people often think that they're talking to a younger lady or a younger person or whoever. They feel like they're being kind of dated online, right? And so they start to send images, maybe like nude images to the person you think you're talking to, and then you yourself could accidentally send a nude image because you're having a relationship, and that's where things come to a halt, where it's like, actually I'm not whoever you want to say it is, and now pay me $1 million or pay me $100,000 or whatever it is. It's usually not that high for like that level stuff. It's like maybe $15,000-$20,000, but cash that youngsters can probably get from their parents somehow, or try to finagle away. And if they can't, worse things happen. There's a huge suicide rate from sextortion right now as well. Like people, or just not just people, but children are being put in this vulnerable situation where they don't have a way to ask for help, and they end up taking their lives. And because they don't want to be embarrassed. And with these types of games, you can also say who your friends are, and that the fraudster or the attacker can use that against you and saying that, hey, I know who your friends are. I don't want to send these nude photos to them. And so these threat vectors, around yourself, is more importantly your family, your children, is something to really educate them on and talk to them about it, and build that relationship with them as well. If they did come across a threatening in a situation like that, they know that they can ask for help, and knowing that it's likely a scam. A lot of these scams a lot of times they won't even have your nude photos. A lot of times you'll get sextortion through just cold emails. I get these all the time. My information has been breached sometimes, which we'll talk about that too. But it's very possible for you to receive a sextortion email, usually using public breaches, like your address and maybe your phone number that's been exposed over time. And maybe they look you up on Facebook, right? Say like, oh, like you're married to so-and-so. If you don't have your social media also like locked down, there's a lot of information that they can grab from you and basically say like, hey, I know that you live on 123 Main Street,
right,
and I know who your spouse is, and I have access to your Wi-Fi, and I have nude photos of you, and pay me an X amount in so-and-so Bitcoin or whatever, however they usually Bitcoin with this address and send it to me. And they can do this like at scale. Like a lot of people can get this.
Right.
And yeah, we just got to be aware of it. So like, it's extortion. Like in other places, it's hard to talk about it just because, rather be corporate policies or, like it's hard to be a little bit more like transparent about it just because like you're talking about sharing nude photos with each other, but really it's a very dangerous thing that is very effective. And unfortunately, it's not just losing money, it's losing lives.
No doubt.
So let me do a quick timeout on this. Kids, let me tell you something. It is not worth taking your life if you choose to do something foolish, like send a nude picture and then someone's threatening you and for money. Go talk to your parents.
Absolutely.
Go talk to your parents. Ending your life is not
worth
the answer. Will you be embarrassed when you talk to your parents? Sure. But you know what? That embarrassment, your parents love you. I tell this to my kids all the time. If you do something stupid like that, because we talked about this stuff that we're talking about now, if you obviously don't do it, but if you do, come to us immediately. Come to your mom and dad immediately.
Yeah. Or even just people you trust, right? Like you have another friend to lean on. You're a big brother to me and also to my kids as well. And hopefully all your students also see you as a place where they can rely on and share information and just
They didn't even know that stuff existed.
Well, yeah. There was recently, I believe he was a football player, maybe. He committed suicide because he got caught in sending a new picture. He thought he was texting with the girl,
right?
Whatever else. Then they hit him with send us $200 or send us $500.
Wow!
And so if he did once, and they come back again, and then they come back again and threaten to like, I'll send it to everybody that you know. And
watch. Yeah, extortion and ransom is huge.
That is insane.
Yeah, and so like you probably heard of like ransomware, and that's extortion from usually used at a larger like enterprise corporate level where these ransomware gangs are basically locking up sensitive systems and servers at corporations and trying to lock them down. And not only happens at corporations, it happens to mom and pop shops too.
Real.
Right? Like corporations can often survive it because they probably have security controls in place. They have some level of insurance. But if our local ice cream shop gets hit or a local, accounting firm.
Sure.
Then it could be it ends businesses, it ends careers.
That's insane.
It's great.
How do they, if the money is locked away in a bank, it's FDIC insured, how does that?
Well, it's not just the bank. It'd be like, let's say, for example, if you're like a private equity company.
Sure.
Right. And so not only you have the cash on hand, you probably don't have the cash on hand, but it would be, like all the other intellectual property and proprietary documents, the way you're doing deals with other companies, like if all the information is all of a sudden just gone, like locked and gone forever, like how do you even operate your business anymore, right? Or even your systems, so applications.
PayPal, Venmo, they can get debit card, credit card. Dude, I had someone hack into my credit card and bought an airline ticket from DFW to Wichita, Kansas. What? Yeah, man. I called the bank. I was like, oh, I get a new card and everything. The person already flew. I was like, you know what? You deserve that punishment to fly what you know.
Well, hopefully your bank would take care of you. Yeah, mostly you guys should use a credit card instead. Of course, if you have a credit card, manage it well. But for that, most banks will reimburse you for credit card type of scheme. So try not to use your checking account or your direct deposit and stuff like that. If that's exposed, it could be. It's hard to get back.
What? How do you protect yourself from this stuff?
Well, let's get into that later.
Okay. All right.
But only because I think it might lead into different other discussions. But back to the ransomware thing, it's not just basically it's extortion, right? Mm-hmm. Getting something that is valuable to you and trying to get money from you because of that. And so now it's happening at all levels. That's why it's so important, because the extortion can happen through sensitive information, like your personal photos. So a lot of things, gateways. Let's get into that. How can you protect yourself? These like the gateways to accesses to yourself, right? So I would first start with like your social media. We're all on social media, but like the amount that you share on it is very important. Like it's very it's critical. Like your public jiu-jitsu page, you probably don't want to share too much of your family or your house of license plate and stuff like that.
My personal Facebook is loaded with all my personal stuff.
Yeah,
it's locked.
It's locked. And so, on that, let's pivot on that too. Then, so public, everyone knows not to share too much information. If you do, just know that people can use that against you,
right?
Okay, or can be mined somehow. And the next thing for social media, for Facebook, would be if it's private, like always review who is following you. A lot of these accounts, like, be like, okay, I trust so-and-so, but like you should review it. Over time, you probably accumulated so many people, you probably don't even know them, right? Like you random people you met at like jiu-jitsu tournaments and you add them and all of a sudden they're, a criminal, or you don't know them at all. So depending on what you're sharing on that personal page, like always like vet that, who your followers are. That's probably the best thing you can do. Don't put too much like personal information, like your anniversary date, because that 100% will be targeted against you. Your birth date,
happy anniversary every year.
But if it's with your friends, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm not trying to like make you like.
It's too late.
It's too late, man. I mean, it's too late, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm scrubbing everything.
I'm glad you're saying that. I would love for everyone to like take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know this.
Listen, that two-step verification is awesome.
Yes.
Time.
Yeah.
Do you have two-step verification?
I don't even know what the hell that is, dude.
So if like Facebook has it, you would obviously log in, and then you would give your phone number for someone's trying to hack in.
Gotcha.
They would give you a code. So you're
gotcha.
I get that all the time.
Okay.
I say all the time. I probably get it a couple
I need to
times.
switch that.
Like Instagram, like, oh, here's a code. So I'll text my wife, hey, you trying to log into my Instagram? She goes, no. I'm like,
so it's
time to change the password.
Yeah, or someone's just trying to get in. Exactly. That's a good indicator to change your password when you get these like scammy type things. I think those kinds of scams are so common. Like whether you have a Coinbase account, whether it be banking, social media, anything that says like, hey, here's your code. First of all just ignore that. Like, yeah, you can change it, but make sure you don't click that link that's taking to change it, because that could be a fake website they're taking it to, right? But yeah, just go back to the site. Don't click on anything because it's hard to verify, because these scams look a lot more realistic now. And also on having multi-factor authentication, that's super important. And anything that's important to you, add multi-factor authentication there. That's MFA or 2FA. And so multi-factor authentication basically means that you have something that you have, something that you are, and something that you own. Right. Or something that own, are, and know. And so that could be something that you own is your phone. Something who you are is your face for facial recognition.
Right.
And then something that you know is that password that's in your brain.
Gotcha.
Right. And so those three things is like a proper multi-factor authentication. But I would definitely enable any MFA anywhere you can that's important to you. So money, and then your reputation. That's what I think about it. So so make sure that you have MFA on all your banking or other finance apps like Venmo, the Cash App, and also like your proper banks.
Gotcha.
And also other information that's really important to you, like maybe your house insurance or other things that are like really sensitive that has like more information about your finances. So lock those down with MFA. And then as far as your reputation, like if someone were to take over your Instagram account, and made like a deep fake of you, some stuff that can end your career.
It could, sure.
Especially because you work with children. And so like definitely have those levels of protection on there. So reputation and money.
You're doing all right. Just make sure you get those goals protected. Because here's the thing. I mean, with all this, because I want to ask how you got into it first. But with all of this, think about how many times Bank of America said, hey, we got hacked.
Yeah.
or somebody said,
Oh
they
my
would
God.
have millions of passwords.
Yeah, AT&T.
I always joke that it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Russia and China have all my stuff anyway.
So is stuff like
True.
Norton or like LifeLock and it's just bullshit scams?
No, LifeLock. I think that's kind of I don't think that's a helpful solution anymore. I'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay,
What
sorry.
you said? No. Sorry, no. You guys are all making great points. I don't mean to come back.
They're good. No.
But you said, okay, Russia and China already have information. Russia and China is not targeting you, though.
Right.
Right. Like it's, and yes, and that's because of, for those who don't know, I think in 2012 or 2013, the Office of Personnel Management got breached, which is basically like the HR admin office for the entire government that has like personal information about like, everything that you do when you like work at an employer, which is like everything. But of course, the government collects more on you. So, they know all your relationships because when you do your security clearance forms, if you do your SF-86,
Got all my stuff.
so they know your travel because the government has asked for that and they mishandle it by having it leaked. And so now like they know everything about you. And then, but they're not going to target you.
That's why they don't
Unless-
target you. They feel bad because you're hip.
But what do you want, man?
But okay, so for government people, definitely a breach. But
Yes.
like, how many of you guys have received a breach letter at home? Have you ever received one?
Only because I work.
I don't read my mail, dude.
Okay, so you definitely have received one.
I'm sure I have.
So my 8-year-old, well, my 7-year-old.
Bro, I do everything. I know. I just chuck my mail in the trash, and not trash, but I put it in it. I burn it.
We also have. So my 7-year-old has received a handful of breach letters already.
Really?
Yeah, like hospitals.
Well, what does the breach letter say? What is it?
So it depends on the breach. So let's say let's say he went to Cook Children's Hospitals, right? Or let's say another one, because I don't know if they've ever had a breach, but let's say he went to Hospital X and they had some level of exposure. So not necessarily them being breached, but it could be like a third-party application that they use that got breached. So like for enterprises, it's so much different because actually it's very much the same, but for them, they use a lot of different providers. And not only do they have to protect themselves, but they also have to have proper controls on all the other services they use, right? So what if they use like an accounting system and the accounting system got popped? Right. And then so now anything that was in there also gets compromised. So every breach is going to be different. And that breach letter, what we get, and it really depends on what that breach was. Sometimes it's just, hey, your username and your password was exposed. So we've already reset it for you and use this code we log in.
Sure.
Or it could be your social security numbers. It could be your health. It could be your actual like health record. Imagine if like your elementary school got popped and they're like, here's.
This is great for me. Like you don't know any of this. So why?
I was so excited to come here.
I know.
today.
I'm all looking at him.
Talk
I know
about
you guys
this.
don't even worry about me.
You guys are shooting my day down.
I'm sorry.
Look, man, all the stuff I do. Look, you guys got to be wise.
Man, I'm not wise when it comes to that stuff, dude. I've been out the game for years.
And that's good. That's actually nice. It's probably like comforting to like.
I left the corporate world in 2011, dude. I haven't had a laptop. I don't own a computer.
Oh, that's what's
No, I don't know none of that stuff, dude.
Good. Hey, so how did you get into this?
So it's because of the Air Force.
Okay.
So I joined the Air Force when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
It was in 04, right after 9/11, like a few years after 9/11. But as soon as I was able to join, I joined.
Are you from Texas?
I'm from South Carolina originally.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting all this PII, all this information.
Oh, I know.
No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
China and Russia already have it, right?
We already all have it. Don't worry about it. So you joined. So did you go into cybersecurity?
No, I didn't actually. So I went to join the Air Force after 9/11. My parents are they are immigrants, and so we had this like profound love for America, and so I always wanted to join the military when I was in high school. I thought it was like a cool thing to do, especially after 9/11, and also like I feel like it was like a great calling as well after 9/11. And so, but I don't want to join just doing anything. And so when I took the ASVAB, I had a couple of options. I scored well enough to have either go into the health career field,
Okay.
or and there's another one for intelligence analysis. And I was like, I don't know what that is. But when I talked to the recruiter, they're like, he made it sound like very James Bond-esque, like, you'll be collecting intelligence from, like the top, like, terrorist groups or big targets that we have, and then being able to, give that to the warfighter and like make decisions. Like, you'll be helpful to make decisions for the military. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
Get a clearance and all that. And then so, my training was a full year long. It was mostly in signals intelligence.
Was it training?
No, it was actually the first few months of my intelligence school, I learned Morse code.
Okay.
Which is so funny because even then in '04, I'm like, dude, who uses Morse code?
Yeah.
This is dumb. And then so I went through that, and then we also did like a signal demodulation course that was in Florida. Basically hack the signals, which is like transmission, what we have today. But being able to demodulate that was like a really cool skill, and understanding like how messages get sent, like the different frequencies, but then how are they sent? How are they packed? How can you unpack it and then understand what it really says? And it was amazing. And I was stationed at NSA for my first duty assignment. It was actually my duty assignment. I did have a TDY to Iraq in '07.
Okay.
But yeah, I was at NSA for most of my time. It was, and that's the kind of mission I ran, and it evolved over time, and eventually I got into offensive security. So, or offensive cyber, and so basically it's being the doing what NSA does.
Cool.
For
Did you re-enlist?
No idea. That's awesome.
Did you re-enlist or did you just do 4 years?
No, I did 6 years.
Okay.
So I got suckered into 6 years because they're all like, hey, you didn't know this story, right? They're like, after boot camp, you move from, Airman Basic, which is E1, you skip Airman, and then you go to E3 to be Airman First Class. And I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Sign me up for
So
you got out at staff, and you get out of staff?
No, actually neither. Senior Airman, 6 year Senior Airman.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed and the reason that is that I missed my airman, my staff sergeant test when I was in Iraq.
Okay.
And then I couldn't get it rescheduled for another year. And then at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't want to stay in here. Like, I don't want to study for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a waste of my time. And actually at the same time, I was getting my undergraduate. So like, I was able to kind of like prioritize. I already knew where my head was at.
Yeah.
And so I prioritized my undergraduate degree, which I got from University of College Park.
Okay.
University of Maryland, College Park, in Maryland. And then I got my undergrad degree knocked out early, and then Air Force also paid for my master's degree, which is for St. Hopkins.
So you have your master's degree?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I finished my bachelor's while I was enlisted. And then I wanted to go in as an officer, but that's when they shut down officer training.
Yeah.
So I got out in 05.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's not.
Yeah, I think about it too. No, I think about it too. Like, like wanting to go back in the service, and I don't know. There's other ways to still help.
I think about it sometimes, but then I remember all this other stupid stuff like, weeks and seats.
Yeah.
Other nonsense. I was like, you know what? So I'm glad I chose.
Yeah.
You're that dude that could, if the government needed you, you could go and like hack other countries.
There are better people out there than me.
But you can do it right. You know how to do it right.
You could. Oh, so you got out. So were you born in America?
Yeah, I was born in South Carolina.
So you get out, and then what brought you here to Texas?
Once we started having, so I lived in DC for most of my career for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And then once we started having kids, we were like, well, let's move closer to where our family is. And so either Atlanta or over here in the DFW area. So we chose here because my wife's family's from here.
Okay.
And also I want to check out Texas.
Texas is awesome.
Man, I do like Texas. About 8 years. 7 to 8 years.
Way better than Georgia.
That's right. Where'd you meet your wife? Was she military?
No, she's not. We met at a summer camp a long time ago, and we didn't date then right away. But like I ran into her like whenever we were adults, and I was like, "Hey, we did the same summer camp together." And she was like, "Oh yeah, we did." And we like caught up then, and then started dating right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so we just had our 10-year anniversary. Wedding anniversary. Yeah,
that's
anniversary.
Yeah. So what got you into jiu-jitsu?
Okay. Two things, two people in particular. One, I have a cybersecurity buddy of mine. We had lunch together a couple of years ago. His name is Adam. If he's watching, he'll probably watch. I'll make him watch it.
What's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
We had lunch together, and he's like, "Oh, I started training jiu-jitsu. So that sounds pretty cool, man." He kind of talked to me about how really it's like a mental Rubik's cube. And I was like, I fucking love Rubik's cubes.
Yeah.
And so, and then I was like, all right, sign me up. And so literally, and then that with a mix of, I think that was like fall of 2020, I guess, what would that be? 2022. And then Kurt as well. I ran for city council with Kurt.
Oh, okay.
Like not against Kurt, but like with him.
Yeah.
We're going for two different seats,
right?
but that's when I met him, and we had like weird threats against us. And he was always like, let him come. I train jujitsu. I was like, oh, sounds pretty cool. And that was like April.
Wrist like that. That kind of
Yeah, he will.
No, I think that was like April of like 2021 or 2022, and then later on there was like some Halloween party that was happening like in our neighborhood, and he started talking about jujitsu. And that's what I noticed. A lot of jujitsu guys just talk about jujitsu all the time, without being unprompted, right?
Yeah.
And, he was like, oh, by the way, but he was like, he was talking about jujitsu, and he basically looked at all these like people in this like big like sea of Halloween trick or treaters and adults. He's like, if anyone had a gun today, I'd beat him up. I'd kill him. Just like, and I was like, if they had, it's like I'd be able to kill him. I was there.
Oh man,
That's what's up.
I love it. I love
And
it.
that's how he would do it too, right? He just like,
break the leg.
But I was like, that's a lot of confidence, and that mixed with Kurt and Adam. I was like, you know what, I'll check it out, and I showed up. I showed up on a no-gi class, and and the rest is history, man. Professor Greg welcomed me. Is like,
I'm glad to share the match with you, man.
Now listen,
thank you.
Jiu-Jitsu does give confidence. I love that, but that's a little too much confidence. Now, I understand where he's coming from because think about it. Do you go to any of Ezra's friends' birthday? Do you ever take him to his friend's birthday parties? Don't lie. When you're there, you're in that house going, man, I could wreck every dad in this room.
It's like maybe
I could wreck every dad in this room because it's true.
Yeah.
Because all these dads are out of shape and they're fat, they don't train, and bro, it does give you confidence. But saying that if somebody had a gun and you kill it, that's a little far. Man.
Well, it depends what angle you're.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, don't say it can't be done.
Kurt, right here, buddy. Don't
With that level of like Kurt confidence, everyone knows that. But it's also funny because they're so low key about it. But it's like he's like so soft about it. But it's like the most bizarre thing.
Oh, yeah. And Kurt will wreck your lunch too.
All the time. He toys with me every time I roll with him. It's like a joke to him.
So I bet that's awesome. Of course, you shared the match with your family, which is
Yes. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old training right now, and actually they're like it's a funny thing. That's like they're in and out of it all the right now as well. So I'm trying to seeing if this is the right fit for them. And I think that's so hard. I want to talk to you about that as well, like how you how do you like continue to keep them in it and motivated, but
probably make them.
Just force them.
There's no negotiating.
You have to.
That's the because
if you give the kid the choice, they're going to quit every time. 100%. Because kids don't want to do things that are hard.
Exactly.
But you keep them in. I mean, you think about this. Ezra's 7 now? You keep him in. By the time he hits middle school, is he public school or home school?
Public school.
By the time he hits middle school, there's not a kid in that school that's going to bully him, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you knowing that, being able to go to work and confidently knowing that your son's not going to get bullied, I don't know any better feeling in the world.
you
know what I'm saying? Talon's not going to get bullied.
Right.
Journey's not going to get bullied.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she's not in school, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You keep them in. You think about Justin started when he was 4 or 5 years old. Justin Scott. You think Justin got bullied in 7th grade? you think they picked on him in 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade?
That's the thing, man. You just have to make them.
Yeah.
See, what I tell with Talon, because Journey, thankfully she loves enough. She goes on the road, which makes my work easier. She drives.
Yes.
She helps out. I'm like, man, that makes me happy. Talon, on the other hand, I'm like, there's no negotiating. You're hitting the max.
Yeah.
At least he does obviously well in school and basketball and stuff, but sorry, negotiate there.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're not quitting the max.
Yeah, and that's the requirement I have on them too. Like you can that's one thing that you have to do, right? And so if they want to play baseball, they want to do other sports, they want to pick up an instrument, that's fine. But like you can't quit jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But also the other side of that is like when they walk in, sometimes they're not fully in it, right? And then
That's okay. And they have those days, man. We have those days. There are days we get to the match and we're just like, I don't even want to be here today.
Yeah.
But it makes us better when we leave the match. We're like, oh, I'm so glad I trained today. Right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll be like that tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
But I agree because the parents that take their kids out of jiu-jitsu, that I had this one girl, she was training, she was doing fantastic, man. We even ordered her a custom gi, custom color, and then her dad just came in last week and quit for her. And I'm just like, she loved it, dude.
More parents quit jiu-jitsu than the kids.
Yes. Or the parents allow their kids to make decisions that they're not mature enough to make.
Right.
No 4 or 5-year-old is mature enough to make the decision to say, Dad, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore. That's not your choice to make. You know what I'm saying? It's just not.
You can always say to your kids, like I tell mine, like, hey, once you start contributing to the bills, you can.
There you go.
Say, until then.
And I tell parents, and I get it, it's not for everybody, but give it 1 year.
Right.
Let your kid work from start to finish. Let them earn that gray and white belt, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it might not be for them, but the problem is these parents will let their kids drop out, and then 4 years later, like, hey, I'll get a call or a message, hey, so and so got bullied in school today. Well, that wouldn't have happened if you had pulled him out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's not only like knowing how to like fight or being able to grapple, but also the confidence that you get from it. Like if I'm gonna mug somebody, I'm not gonna look at the one who is like walking confidently. I'm one who is like that doesn't look confident, right? Like that's how like lions hunt.
Yes.
Right. Like you want to look at the weakest.
That's right. They go after the gazelle. Well, think about it though. Same point as you put. I mean, when we train, I mean, it's just repetition. So it's also for the kids. It's just being. And I mean, they've been mounted 1,000 times. When that bully mounts them in school, they're not going to freak out and cry. They're like, dude, I do this every day. Get off me. You know what I'm saying? And think about it. When you first got mounted, you weren't comfortable. Yeah. Now you can sit mount for 4 or 5 minutes and it not bother you. Yes, you're going to block chokes and stuff, but you're not panicking, freaking out. I tell this all the time that police officers, it happens 100% because they're never put down. They're never on their back. Every time I get a police officer on their first day, and you put them in mount, they freak out because they've never been there before. They've never been pinned down. Nobody's ever overpowered them. So they freak out. I've seen them flock, move, everything other than biting, like they're freaking out underneath you. And you're just like, hey, calm down, dude. But it's like that. But once you have it over and over and over and over, like, if let's just say some dude outside, let's just say you stumbled. You got into a tussle, you stumbled, you hit the ground, the dude landed on mount. You're not going to freak out. You're going to know to cover up. You're going to know to lift your hips, roll them off, and then you're going to take control of that fight, dude.
Yeah. I love that you did a back to school session about being bullied. First of all, like if anyone has as a listener and doesn't have kids in jiu-jitsu right now, definitely consider it, and especially consider it here under Philip's instruction.
100%.
He's so amazing. Like he is like our our backup parent in a lot of ways. You catch things that we forget to mention at home at times, and like one of the things. So anyway, he had this back to school. It's probably the most like a key memory of mine now, even though it was only a couple of weeks ago. But it was it's probably like a week. It was the week before school started, like in our region, and you were talking about as like self-defense. You might run into bullies, and if it happens, this is how you're going to handle it, right? So you talk, mount escapes. First thing you did, also like getting up, like properly, so you're not going to get punched, but also how to respond. Like, you don't want to engage. You actually want to step away. You want to call for help, and then being able to do that as well. Like, hey, get your teacher, or get, like also the fact that you always talk about, striking is when you get in trouble. But if you can apprehend somebody peacefully, then you don't get in trouble, and you've also like managed a situation a lot better.
Absolutely.
And so that was an amazing class.
Thank you.
At the very end, the best part about it was, you ended the class saying that make a friend. Like, you have the power to make or break someone's day. And, you do like a poll of, like a show of hands who's, how many people have, had someone make their day for them. And everyone raised their hand, of course. And then you put that back to them. It's like, you have the power to make someone else feel very special. And so, whenever you see a kid, sitting by himself at lunch or something, alone, you could be that person to help him out.
Yep.
And guess what? Like 2 weeks after school started, there was actually probably a week after school started, there was a new kid, and I guess they didn't have a partner in class for something, and Ezra walked up to them and was like, "Hey, you want to be my partner?" And he made sure that no one was left, that person wasn't left out.
That's awesome.
And then we didn't hear about it until like later that week. and his teacher, like we had a phone call with our teacher just to like check in, and she was so happy that he's in her class, and the fact that he made an intentional effort to make sure.
Yep.
But dude, that's what you.
Thank you, bro.
That was such a like great moment, and I hope that all the other parents also see the value and that level of that mentorship and the fact that you're so forthcoming about your time being bullied as a kid and being injured is it's very moving, and so I appreciate it.
I just want to do my best. I appreciate you, and it's hard because man, parents now these days, and just like you said, I hope that they see value in the program, and it's crazy because man, this just started to happen recently. These parents now are starting to get into this. I call it the LeBron mode, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like building champions takes time. You know what I'm saying? Like I never make our kids compete. That is the last thing. You want to go compete? Great. We'll help you winning a gold medal. That's the last on my list. I want to make sure that these kids are disciplined and have respect and can stand up for themselves and they can defend themselves and all this good stuff. And you have parents that are just like, they want it to, I guess they didn't get, highlighted in their life. So now it's all on their kids.
Yeah.
And they're pushing these kids to be nothing but the best. You've got to be a champion. Man, if you're not winning first place, you just started, you didn't win a gold medal, and they're taking these kids out and putting them in another program somewhere else because this school got more wins than this school. And it blows my mind. If you have a good coach, somebody that cares about your children, and I mean truly cares about your children, stick with it. Yes. Who cares about trophies and medals? That stuff's great. But I'd much rather one of my kids in my program be a good person, be able to stand up for themselves, be able to help others when they're down, and other than 1,000 gold medals, I could care less, dude.
Yep. So back to the cybersecurity. Is that what you're doing today?
Oh yeah, we totally riffed on that.
No, it's okay.
That's what we do here.
Don't worry about it. That's what we do.
So got my start, like I said, in the government. That was 6 years, and then after that, I stayed in the government for a few more, mostly at NSA and Cyber Command. And then I spent a little bit of time at DHS, Homeland Security, for their Computer Emergency and Response Team, which is called US CERT at that time. It's called CISA now, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. So that organization has grown a lot, but basically their job is to be the external facing support, cybersecurity support for the entire public.
Okay.
So I worked there for a little bit, but we also do some incident response on the OPM thing, and then a few other incidents that are newsworthy. If you Google, government incidents between 2012 to 2014. 2012 to 2015. That's where I was.
Okay.
So, and then after that, went to private sector.
Okay.
I worked at Goldman Sachs for a little bit.
Okay.
And ran cybersecurity there. Not all cybersecurity, but a really small section of it, called Red Team Operations. It's kind of approaching security the way an adversary would. Right. So Red Team or offensive security is really putting on the hacker hat, right? And identifying who wants to come after us and then run their playbook, right? So rather be physical security or cybersecurity related things try to break in as a North Korean spy agency. What are their tools? How do they do it? And then emulate that.
That's cool.
And so I did that for a couple of years. And then a little bit
on the private side or government side?
On the private side.
Okay.
In the Goldman Sachs, if you don't know, it's a investment banking firm.
Yeah.
Fortune 100.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
And so that was an amazing experience. Every experience has been very enriching and another step into my career development. And I spent some time at startups. So for a few years, actually, not for the past year, well, from about 2018 to 2022, I was in startups, really building cybersecurity products from early stage and getting Silicon Valley backing and all that stuff. So it was really fun to grow and scale companies and software as well. And now I work at a private equity firm, and I run a cybersecurity segment as well called the Security Intelligence Group. And we're looking at the full spectrum of intelligence. So understanding who wants to harm our people, are attacking our office buildings, or our executives from both the physical security aspect side and the cybersecurity aspect side, and making sure that we're locking that down. And security education and security awareness program. Like I run that as well. Often, again, doesn't sound sexy at all, right? Like the way you guys are doing it, probably not. I don't know what it is, so I can't say anything about it. But
This is lame.
okay, so ours is awesome because like we have been fortunate enough to really run with our own vision of what's cool.
Yeah.
And so and this is a part of it. Like I want to continue to like enrich people's lives with like good knowledge that they're not taken advantage of, either be financially or from a data perspective.
Awesome.
So this year, I work with an amazing team. And so this year, we made a really cool video of my boss, who was the head of all of cybersecurity for the company. He went through like a story in documentary style format, talking about how he was targeted for scams as well, and talking through like what those things you see, like like those confirmation codes and stuff like that. But basically, it's like a little documentary, and then we give a little playbook. So it's like a little PDF of like here you can take this home, and this is how you can make yourself safer and harder to find. So anyway, that's what I do now. It's a really fun job. It's really challenging as well. Like I think the world is really fusing itself with technology and people right now. Like just from like what you used to see before, you could be completely off the with the grid and not know anything that's going on. But just like every bit of your information is out there, even if you try not to.
Right. Yeah.
Even if you don't have a social security number, even if you don't do anything, like the other providers that you've used in the past, whether it be healthcare or banking services, like the amount of breaches that happen, you are just exposed.
Yep.
Your stuff is just out there.
How easy do you think with AI, with the technology change?
Oh gosh. Yeah. So
Is that a big puzzle for you?
yeah, I think it's being like utilized better by the fraudsters and the attackers rather than better than defenders. And mainly because for example, those Nigerian prince emails where usually the way to spot it was like, there's a typo or this bad English. But now you just toss that into ChatGPT, you automatically are getting better.
And they're copying and pasting logos of banks.
Yeah. So in those phishing emails are becoming a lot more easy to create. There's also the acceleration of this thing called vibe hacking. You probably heard of vibe coding, but basically vibe coding, vibe hacking is basically using or utilizing AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude to create your own code. And so with that, you can outsource your hacking capabilities to your favorite AI tool as well. And so you're seeing a lot of that being accelerated, whether it be the delivery of it or the creation of that code, that's being accelerated. And then as well as other niche tools that are out there, like voice, emulation.
Yeah.
It's getting
Dude, I mean, look at how many crazy, when you scroll through social media, and they have you saying with President Trump, President Obama, President Biden. Like how many you're like, okay,
and it's hard to believe. Actually, good point. Yeah. So defending against AI, AI slop is a thing on its own. I made a point earlier, you actually said this today as well. You're like, I don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Right. And from previous episodes, you talk about the pyramids and other ideas out there. But you're like, I don't know what to believe. And actually, that's the point.
Yeah.
A lot of this confusion that you see on social media. First of all, not everyone sees what you see and they see. We all have different algorithms tailored to us.
Right.
And taking a step back. Why do we sit on our phone all the time? It's because you're being monetized, right? Rather be through ads, whatever it is. The point of social media is to keep your eyeballs on your phone, right? Have you guys ever looked at your stats of how much time you spend on social media?
It's stupid. I'm embarrassed to say. I don't even want to say it, dude. It's stupid. It is stupid, bro. And I think to myself, I could have been so productive with those hours that I spent hours on Facebook or Instagram.
That at raising kids, during and I have to constantly say, you have to regulate yourself.
You have to.
There comes a point. I mean, right now, talent, I regulate them.
Right.
You have screen time. Parents that do screen time, well done. Screen time, I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Read a book. That's what I'm going to say. Read a book. Go exercise, whatever. Now the journey is now, 19, she'll be 19.
can do
Now
whatever.
I have to tell her, like, you have to self-regulate. I can't regulate for you.
right.
Because you're like, well, I'm not focused because because that's exactly what they're trying eyes on this thing.
I'm so glad we didn't grow up with this shit.
Oh,
I know.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Yes.
Nobody could hack my Sega Master 8-bit system, you know, or my regular Nintendo, or my Game Boy. I didn't have a cell phone, you know what I'm saying? It was so much easier back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. This generation is going to have a hard time like dealing with this because they're being desensitized. Like, you know, being able to see like murders
killings on TV.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
They're so desensitized, but that's very unnatural of us to be that desensitized too. But that's probably like our next evolution.
You want to hear my
Did
series?
you see that video I posted yesterday about the desensitization of the children? Now, I'm not doing this to political, but it was a video going wild. A mom has her 2 girls, one's 8 and one's 6. And she goes, you guys want to hear the best news ever? And the first words that come out of these girls' mouths is, President Trump died?
Oh my gosh.
She goes, okay, second best news. The vice president died?
Right.
She goes, okay, third best news of the day. They go, Elon Musk died? These girls shouldn't even say anybody died. The fact that they're saying that and the parents are recording it thinking
that's-
it's okay, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You want to know, like they're all happy rapture day, by the way.
Oh, yeah, hey, we were supposed to die today. Yep.
You want to hear my theory?
The day is
about-
young, by the way.
It's still young. So I think, because the whole building of the third temple in Jerusalem is south, and then the Antichrist, I think, my opinion, it's not my opinion, social media is going to have a play in that. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the animal sacrifices, I think it's going to be like, it's going to be streamed, and then everyone's going to be all up in arms about all these animal sacrifices,
Yeah.
and they're going to stop it. And
so that-
in there.
So that's another thing with this AI stuff. Like, you know, the government saying, oh, we got this alien spacecraft approaching Earth. It'll get here in November. Like, they can put drones in the sky and make it look like a freaking alien ship. Well, how do we know what's real now and what's not?
So that's so back to what's real and what's not. You know, I think who control. So back to eyeballs on screen again as well. The reason why the reason why you doom scroll is not like it's not your human nature. It's the fact that you're being fed content that allows you to screen, that allows you to scroll more, right? Like people want content that is going to keep them engaged, or that making them fulfilling something that they're interested in, or just something that the fact that they're become more angered by it, or it's a way to play on your like addiction and how you're feeling. And so a lot of these like posts that you see, there's a lot of data behind it. It's not just like random stuff. Like, there's ways to like tag images and videos like on the back end, and knowing that, hey, you like this sentiment, you like this type of stuff, and they'll just feed you more of that. And if you start to move away from it, you're like, you scroll faster, then oh, he's no longer interested in it. How about you like guns? Look at guns. You like Ninja Turtles? Look at Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You like Ninja Turtles? Buy this Ninja Turtle shoe.
Yeah.
How many of you guys have purchased things because you saw something on social media?
I don't, but I get my wife to buy it for me. So
But you get
all the
inspired by it, right?
Yeah, I got the Ninja Turtle shoes, and
I'm very self-aware of what social media is trying to do. So I try to.
That's horrible, especially with infomercials, bro. Oh,
Dude, but yeah, and
Bro.
but hey, look, I'm not trying to preach here at all, because
You would, man,
I
please.
love like a Friday after work and just like leave me alone on the couch and I'm gonna doom scroll like Reddit or something like that. There's also like it's also cathartic. The way we live these days is also very different too, right?
Very true.
And so like it's nice to just kind of be like quiet and low. So there's nothing against that, but the biggest warning for social media, for covering social media, your messages for extortion, like having those conversations with your children, making sure that they're not talking to people that they shouldn't be.
Yep.
And if so, like, not to pry, but you can approach your child on just saying like, hey, if something suspicious comes up, you can always talk to me about it.
absolutely.
Right. And then, what you're being fed, just having that awareness of like, what's being fed to me. I think once you realize that, you could be living in the matrix, you're like, I can pause and see what is being fed to me because of my, algorithm. Right. And so keep that in mind. Also reduce your privacy stuff, or increase it, go to the help link on Facebook or Instagram. or whatever application that you use, like, visit those like privacy and security checks because they evolve over time. I'm like, I'll sound like a nerd, but I use LinkedIn a lot. And their privacy changes all the time. And so it's good to visit it. And, you already probably signing some kind of term of agreement that they can change these things at any time. So please keep an eye on that. And then just a word of word of caution again is just to use social media as less as you possibly can. So put your timer on there. Go outside, do your learn a language, go do something else that you're meant to do, right? Like use your hands. Get that sun.
Yeah.
Go to Renzo Gracie DFW Jiu-Jitsu. Come on, man. Listen,
And hackers, stop being lazy. You're a bunch of lazy frogs.
Wait,
That's horrible.
we're deep. This has been.
Yeah, dude.
We'll keep to it a little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Well, how much?
I got about 10 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it won't be that long.
Okay.
Okay. So let's do a few more. So that's only social media, right?
Right.
Okay. So know that the two things that are most important to you are your phone and email, right? So making sure that your email is also locked down. So get your multi-factor authentication on there. That's important. And just knowing that if people are to get, a hold of your phone, that's also a very important thing because that it really is a gateway to all your stuff. So for phone, your phone service providers, AT&T or Verizon, they should have some level of SIM swapping capabilities. So basically, if I were to call in, knowing your phone number to AT&T and saying like, "Hey, I'm Philip. I need my password reset, or I have a new phone. Can you change my phone number?" Right? And they can change your phone number, and all of a sudden, someone has like a duplicate version of your phone. So there's SIM swap protections out there, basically saying that, "Hey, don't allow me to ever change my phone number, and if so, here's my like secret code kind of thing."
Gotcha.
Let's see. Okay. Another point I wanted to make is applications. I think it's easy to download different apps and games on your devices. Apps and games are not always secure, right? And like by just, buying the free version, you're probably, you're inheriting a lot of junk, right? A lot of junk could be just the ads are poorly vetted and all of a sudden you're clicking on things and you're getting malware. So be very careful of what kind of applications that you put in because even if you have trusted applications, just to know that these apps are basically software that's created by people, and people are inherently flawed. And so, that logic for software could, that's what introduces new vulnerabilities. So patch your things. So if you need to know, what's the outcome, make sure you keep all your applications up to date. When you get that, hey, install a new update for your iOS, do it because likely they have security, implications in there. So always keep your applications up to date. I think that is it.
Dude, this is it. Dude, we're gonna have him back. We're gonna have him back on.
Okay,
Because you have a lot of. We're gonna hit this.
I got to go home and scrub on my stuff. Dude.
Yeah, you better do that two-step verification. Hey, and as we end this, I want to give a little warning to you men out there. If I see you as a mutual friend on one of these things, like, hey, suggested friends, and it's some hot chick who's probably Russian or something as a mutual friend, I automatically think you're retarded. Nobody likes you about that. Anyways. Anyways, go like, subscribe, follow us. We're going to have back up. Man, thank you so much.
Man, great job today.
Yes, man.
Appreciate it.
Man, that's what's up.